And hello, everybody. This is John Burgos, and welcome to tonight's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And today's going to be a little bit different than we've had it over the last couple of seasons in that we're not going to have video today. The fairy kingdom wants us to be this way, and the energy of Avalon. All joking aside, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, and we didn't want to delay any longer. So here we are. And we're going to get started with an amazing call. I'm so excited to have Judy Cali back with us. And today she's going to be talking about magical guardians of Avalon, Merlin, the 13 Knights of the Round Table, fairies, and a crystal speaks. And we'll get deeper into it. And if you're new to Judy's work, it's just the realms that open up in so many different ways, and the messages that come through. It's their activations, you feel like you're held and expanded at the same time. You're going to experience it on the call, and we're going to go deep into Q&A also so that you can experience some of Judy's work. So we'll open into that. And again, you'll get to experience this. Now, Judy's special offer, and she gets pretty booked up whenever she's on the show, is a one-on-one session. So if you're interested in it, April's going to type the link in the chat box so you can take advantage of that now and start scheduling. And we'll go through it a little bit later on the call as well. And again, if you're not familiar with Judy, let me tell you a little bit more about her. So Judy Cali has been doing intuitive healing work with the Ascended Masters, Archangels, and Angels since 3 years of age in 1949. She was asked by Hilarion, the Ascended Master of Healing of the Emerald Ray, and Archangel Gabriel, Archangel of the Clarion Call, to go public with her gifts over 20 years ago. And honoring the request, her Clarion Call and working with people all around the world has been a joy. Now, in January of 2018, Judy integrated into her Ascended Master self as Anna, Mother Mary's mother, and it took almost 10 months. And in September 2018, Judy aligned with the great golden sun heart of creation and totally merged, and then into the heart of creation as a point of light. Judy also detached from all forms, labels, titles, assumptions, beliefs, and ideas of who she was as Judy, and felt all clear in oneness. And then in December 2018, she experienced the dissolving of all her lives in an essence of oneness of I am. In 2019, she became aware that she is the ambassador of all new children. Jesus told her in 1953 that she would be working with children all over the world in her later years. Amazing. Judy, welcome back to Beyond the Ordinary. It's great to have you.
Hi, I am so happy to be here. And boy, do I have a lot of stuff to share. So it's been a busy house today because they're all here.
Well, let's start. Where do they want to start?
Oh, well, first of all, let me share with you something that came in today that I was so excited. First of all, they said to me, Judy, along with the Knights of the Round Table, we're going to invite in the ladies of the Round Table. And they don't bring swords, they bring musical instruments to attune us. Is that not beautiful?
That's beautiful.
And so they're showing me these beautiful ladies, and each one standing next to a knight, and that's their lady. And they're also showing me that we're going to speak to Merlina, which is Merlin's female self, and hear what she has to say. So this isn't only about the guys. This is also about the ladies of the Round Table. And of course, there's Guinevere, who's standing next to Arthur. And it's quite wonderful when you receive information that's on the edge of what's been, I kind of explained to people. And I've heard of Merlina before, but I've never had her come in. And today was the first time it was presented to me that there were ladies of the Round Table. How exciting is that, John?
That's beautiful. Oh, I can't wait to get into this transmission. Well, we've already gotten into it, actually.
And we're going to take back in, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but when we shifted from being all into everything as a golden spiral of light, and a spiral has no beginning and no end. So we've never been born and we've never died. We just keep changing form because we're energy. And all of life is made out of energy. So we're everything. There's nothing we're not. So in the last that I've been aware of, the last 8 or 9 years, when we went from pure oneness, decided to come into form, and agreed to live as every form of life at some point and have every experience available in some point, we then chose to go to the farthest extreme of unloving that was available, which was third dimension Earth. And we totally shattered and fragmented and went into complete separation, which was the point. And then we decided, we shifted from third to fourth 10 years sooner than anybody thinks. We did it December 21st, 2002. And when we shifted from third to fourth, we've now been in fourth for 19 years, and now we're shifting into high fourth. And just last year, we shifted 10% of the population from being unawake to being awake. And everybody that's on the call and is listening to the replays is an ascended master. You would not be interested in this topic if you were not. And that's all I work with. And I was told at the time when I was asked to go public, because I had been doing what I do for over 45 years, and I didn't tell anybody because I didn't think it had any value for anybody else but me. And then I was asked to go public. And when I went public, I moved 14 times in 9 years. And the last 4 moves were all in 1 week. And at that time, when I went public for the first time, I was having very different experiences from the people that were around me in booth. The first thing was I had never done anything publicly, and they were lined around the corner to see me. And the lady in the booth next to me said, I don't think I've ever met you before. Where have you been doing your work? Because everybody must know you. And I said, no, this is my first time doing anything public. And she said, well, how do you explain this line? I said, I thought it was just beginner's luck.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm doing the work, and I'm noticing everybody else is leaving at 4 and 4:30, and I was still there at 8:30 at night working on people while the cleaning crew was cleaning up. And I thought I have to get better at time management. So about the third time of weekend that this happened, where I went from Massachusetts to Connecticut to the state of Maine, I went to the masters and I said, what is it that I'm doing that's so different? And they said, well, first of all, you've been doing this for so many lifetimes that we have to keep you amused or you're going to get bored. And they said, we guide you to experiencing the 1% of the 10% of the highest frequency beings on the planet that are here to lead the way. And you are the emergency doctor. And we send to you those that need help clearing and where they're stuck. And so I found that to be true. And Ascended Master Hilarion said, you're just going to know what each person needs intuitively. They do present information to me in very amusing ways, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And the interesting thing is, when I started doing the work about 4 or 5 years ago, they presented to me after I've been doing it for like 15 years. They said, we're sending to you now the 1/2 of the 1% of the 10% here to lead the way, which is the highest frequency beings on the planet. Hello, that's you guys. So I've been working with helping people unstick the last 4 and 5 years in their throat. And most people were not being able to speak their truth. They swallowed their pain. And when you swallow your pain, that goes into your power center, which is above your navel, and creates disease, illness, and aging. It's toxic when you swallow your pain. And so I've been helping people speak their truth, get the toxicity out. And I was coughing on and off for 5 years. They came to me this last summer, last year, and said, now you're going to be guiding people how to live as a living prayer. And I've been living this way for 20 years. Wow. And all that means is you're in touch with and mindfully, consciously choosing every word you speak, every thought you think, every feeling that you have, and every choice that you make. You take responsibility and you slow your speech way down, and you live in what's called the authentic self. And that's why the last 10 and 12 years we've been guided to slow way down, because it has nothing to do with what we're here to do. We could literally play tiddlywinks and laugh all day, and we would be doing what we came here to do. We came here to come in with our Ascended Master Heart Light, which we all did, and we're shining it as bright as we possibly could. We took the high road, and that means that 90% of the population is irritated by our light. Not us, our light. And that was to help wake them up. That's just now shifting. And now we're starting. I got the most fabulous message just about 2.5, 3 weeks ago when I was doing a master class. And halfway through the master class, my guides came in and said, we want you to know, Judy, so you can tell the people that in the last 10 to 15 years, those that are here to lead the way have increased their self-love by 79%. That is huge. And that's what we came here for. Every soul on the planet agreed to love themselves more in this life than they've loved themselves in any life, because we're shifting from fear-based living to love-based living. So in that vein, I had a message from 2 white cats just a couple weeks ago. And this message has been 30 years in the making. And that's why when they started talking to me for less than a minute, I'll mind you, I get messages maybe once or twice a year, and they're less than a minute. And in that minute, as I'm waking up, my bladder's reminding me that I need to go visit the restroom. My dog is running around in a circle to let me know it's his time. And my daughter's yelling for me to go get a wet paper towel because our newest little dog that we rescued was vomiting. All this is going on while I'm getting this message in the first minute that I'm waking up. And here was the message. I saw this white cat walking in a very sleek, confident way. And it said to me, it turned and looked at me, and it had all white with beautiful aqua eyes. And it said, I'm taking my daily constitutional walk. And I realized it was talking to me. And I said, that's wonderful. And it's walking in this really confident, gracious way, the way big cats walk. And they have such a sense of confidence, and they own the space. You can feel it as they're walking. All of a sudden, to the right, they show me there's another cat, an all-white cat, sitting in a picture window, an all-glass picture window, on a cushion in a Zen position, meditating. And then the cat opens its eyes, they're emerald green, and says, I am a Zen cat, and this is my home. And it was making it clear to me that it didn't have a companion. This isn't a person's home. This is a cat's home. And so the cat unfurled from the Zen position, walked out of its door, closed the door, and walked over and saw the other cat walking. And now these 2 white cats, this cat approached the other cat and said, may I join your walk? And the other cat said, absolutely. So I see these 2 white cats walking in the synchronization, so their little hips are going up and down at the same time, and their tails look like question marks. It was so cute. And they're animatedly sharing with each other. And I can see the delight in their body chemistry as they're sharing with each other. And then they come to this fork in the road. And the constitutional cat, I can see, is going to veer off to the left, because I guess its walk is going around the block, right? Off to the right is the Zen cat's home. And so the Zen cat says to the constitutional cat, may we join each other and take a brand new direction. And the tears started flowing down my eyes as I was getting this message, because I realized that we're stepping into our master self the last 1.5 years. And now our master gifts are awakening. And we're connecting to the kindred hearts and the fellow ascended masters to go in whole new directions that we've never gone in before. And in my case, I have not partnered, and I have been pretty much staying in my own space for over 30 years, since 1992. For many of us, we have been in isolation, downloading, activating, initiating for years. We're ending that. So it doesn't mean we're not going to download, activate, and initiate here and there, but the volume of it we've been doing is stopping.
Wow.
And we're standing in our power, and we're going to be communing and connecting to those that we're here to connect to create brand new experiences and opportunities for ourselves and the planet. And that is an amazing message. And so I thank the two white cats for presenting it to me, because as the tears were flowing, I realized the significance of what they were saying. The third dimensional part of us, John, has died. It doesn't exist anymore. We're done. And now the master has come in. And what we're asked to do as a master is to surrender and trust in the integrity of our soul. And we don't need to know, and we don't need to understand. Those are both fear-based ideas. And that's the human part. We're stepping out of the human part, and we're stepping into our master self. And I wanted to share that with all of you.
That's beautiful. I love the images you get and the articulation of it, because I felt components of that in different ways. And again, just landing it and grounding that through that awareness and through that illustration.
Thank you for letting me know that.
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Now, also my throat is encoded with a special dispensation of light as a healer. And that light is going into the sacred heart of every person on the call, because I've already offered it to their higher self. It's up to them whether they accept it or not. But that light goes into the deepest core pain and starts clearing it. So if you're getting sleepier, it's because you're clearing. If you plan on driving a car and you're pulled off to the side of the road, before you start driving, please get out and walk around the car and ground yourself. I've had people fall asleep and snore on the phone while I'm doing sessions because they're clearing so deeply. So,
Judy, when you say clearing deeply, will you define that a little bit more? Because it's something that gets mentioned all the time. And I'd like to put some context into what is it that's being cleared?
Okay, happy to do that. Okay, first of all, for most of our life, we have been living 96 to 97% pain, suffering, and fear. That's what third dimension is. And the law of attraction is an impersonal law. It has nothing to do with being a good person. It has nothing to do with if you clean your teeth. It doesn't care. The law is a universal law, and you get back 100% vibrationally. Whatever you get out, whatever you're giving out, you're getting back 100%. So if we are in 96 to 97% pain, suffering, and fear, and that's the energy we're putting out, we're just recreating 96 to 97% more pain, suffering, and fear. So in order to shift that, we need to allow ourselves to start releasing the things that we've been taught to be afraid of. And so what's happened is the last 7-8 years, all 10%, now 20% since last year, all 10% of us made an agreement on a soul level that we would all release 51% of our deepest core pains and fears. So we could step into living a love-based life, not a fear-based life. So you may have noticed that everything has been right in our face. We have not been able to distract ourselves from it. It has to be cleared. And so anything that needs to be cleared that's unloving has been right in our face. So we cleared the top layers for about 6 years. And then in 2018, we received the largest download of love we've ever received in our whole life on 11/21/12. No, 11/21/18. And when we got that, we finally shifted. That's part of the stepping into 79% loving ourselves more. We then went into the pit of our pain that we swallowed, the pain that we've stuffed that's just too painful to deal with, and we started clearing that. And in 2019, on June 7th to the 21st, we received the largest download of unconditional, unlimited love. And then we went into the pit where the deepest core pains and fears and traumas are, and we started clearing that. And one thing I've noticed that I can just share as an example, I woke up one morning, this was about 2 years ago, and my whole left knee was sore, and my right foot was so sore I couldn't touch it. And I went to stand on it, and my leg was going to collapse. And so I'm hopping to the bathroom, not figuring out how could I have hurt myself at night while I'm sleeping, because my dog, Mr. Finley, who's my very, very fine gentleman, is only 11 pounds. So it's not like I sleep with a Great Dane. So I'm hopping on my foot for 2 days, can't stand on it, can't touch it. And then I remembered that when I was 5 years old, my mother and dad were teaching me how to ride a bike. And my mother said to me, whatever you do, Judy, don't ever sit on the back of a bike, always sit on the seat. I don't remember if she told me why. I just remember her being very specific. 5 years later, I did what every kid does. I actually forgot she said that, and somebody offered me a ride on the back of their bike, and I took it, and we got not even one wheel turning, and my heel got caught in the spoke and went in about 3 inches, and they had to restitch my heel. I'm fortunate that I've never had any problems with my heel, but that trauma was clearing. And the next morning when I woke up, I had no sore, knees were fine, foot was fine. It was like I'd never had a problem at all. That was clearing at that deepest level of trauma. So we're having people, places, things that we kept and stuffed. We're loving ourselves enough for the first time in our life that we can go beyond our fears and actually release it. And that's what we're doing now. So now we've stepped into the very bottom of the pit, the barrel, which is the deepest trauma, the deepest addiction, the deepest pattern that's out of balance. Whatever it is that we are living that's been running our life because we've been too afraid to let it go, we're now letting it go. Does that explain it?
Yeah, it really does. Wonderfully. Thank you for that, Judy. So what do the energies and of Avalon and that are coming in have to do with all this clearing and this purging and we're ascending into?
Because what we're doing, John, when I said we are totally shattered in third dimension, we're now taking back our power, and we're also reclaiming the parts of us that we fragmented. And so I've noticed, especially the last couple of years, all of a sudden, various forms of people, places, and things are presenting themselves to me. And it's obvious to me that they're trying to get my attention. And an example was 2 years ago, I went to check the mail. I was living near Palm Springs at the time, and it was 9 o'clock at night, and it was chilly. My teeth were chattering. It was chilly, believe it or not. And so I checked the mail. I wanted to get right back in the car, and I looked to my left. My attention was being drawn to my left, and the most gorgeous full moon was right there. And I realized that I'm living lives as a moon. And the moon was basically saying to me, now you're ready, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually mature enough to take back in your moon wisdom. So I welcomed the moon into my sacred heart. I thanked it for getting my attention. And I said to my higher self, I choose to use my moon wisdom in whatever way it honors me and honors the entire planet with love.
Beautiful.
And then I could feel that part of me kind of click in to myself. And then I had the next day a road runner that was running back and forth about 7 blocks in front of me. And it was obvious that it was not just going a normal direction. It was going back and forth to get my attention. And I said the same thing to the road runner. So now King Arthur and the round table is now coming up and saying, you're now ready to step into your Avalon wisdom. You're now ready to step into the ascended master part of you that's Merlin. And it's the round table and is the knights and the ladies. You're now ready to take back in that part of you. And so that's what we're doing today.
Wow. Whew. All right. So who's coming in first, Judy? I just feel like I just want you to flow. Yeah.
Merlin's coming in. So let me tap into Merlin. Merlin's laughing. Okay. So here we go. Oh, here we go. My sweet ones, this is a celebration of light. This is a celebration of all that exists in life, as every single part and particle is lightening up, and you are lightening up. One of the most wonderful ways that you are being given an opportunity to step more into the truth of who you are is through joy. And we came tonight to celebrate each of you and to thank each of you for the amazing job you are each doing as masters, waking up and taking back the full volume of your light. You each are shining so brightly that if you were feeling and standing on the edge of you, you could get sunburned very, very easily. Your light is touching every heart in the world as ascended masters, and your light is so bright that each of you chose to take the high road. And when you chose to take the high road, that gave each soul permission to wake up in its own unique way. And in this time tonight, as we are joining with the hearts of Avalon, we are seeking out and have been with you the last 2 weeks, preparing you for tonight. And we have gone to each one of you that are on the call and the replay and the sacred souls that are here participating. We have connected to each of you and asked your permission to be able to shift you into your next step. And the light that you're stepping into, your master light, is now going to touch planets and galaxies and stars, not just planet Earth. And as you illumined more and more with every breath, you are now going to step into your star cells and your galactic cells and your cosmic cells and your solar cells and your universal cells. And so for you thinking I'm just Jerry and I'm going to the market, and really what does this have to do with me? You went through the veil of forgetting, every single one of us that are here to lead the way, before we entered our mother's womb. And Jesus told me in 2007 that we came from being golden spirals of light floating and glowing. And then we chose and were asked by the Ascended Master Elders, each one of us, to come here to lead the way. And he said, when you each entered your mother's womb, none of you were prepared for the amount of pain that you stepped into, because you could feel the 96 to 97% pain, suffering, and fear. And he said, when you stepped into your mother's wombs, you felt all the pain of your mother. And then you felt all the pain of your father. And then you felt all the pain of your ancestors. Then you felt all the pain of the family you were stepping into. And finally, you felt all the pain of the town that you were living in. And he said it was way more than any of you could handle. So a lot of you left the planet. And he said a big exodus is what happened. And he said, and many of you chose to come back and have a near-death experience. He said, but when you came back, he said, you still had the problem of having to distract yourselves from the pain. And so he said, many of you went into addictions. Many of you went into autism, and not necessarily the term autism, but being in your own world and stepping in and out of your body. And many of you went into compulsions, where you're riding your bike 6 hours a day, or you're reading a book 4 hours a day, or you're playing the piano 3 and 4 hours a day, anything to distract ourselves from the pain. And he said, when you chose to do that, he said, then you started shutting yourself down, because when you are evolved beings, the more evolved you are, the more sensitive you are. And he said, you guys just couldn't take it. And he said, so many of you shut yourselves down, so you stopped feeling, because it was just too painful to feel. And so as we started waking up, which was after we shifted from 3rd to 4th, December 21st, 2002, we started waking up, and we started reconnecting ourselves to our own self and to feeling, which for many of us, we went most of our life and just shut our feelings down. And so we're now coming into our own feelings. We're now waking up our brilliant minds. We're waking up our own brilliance. And something else that's absolutely astounding is about 3 or 4 years ago, I started walking like a penguin. And I started walking and needing my legs to be shoulder width apart. And I was walking like a penguin from side to side. I was getting very, very dizzy, and I had to hold on to furniture. And so my guides came in a couple days later, and they said, Judy, you guys are like tightrope walkers, and you're used to putting one foot in front of the other, and you have a pole that helps keep you balanced. He said, but here's the thing. You guys have expanded so far beyond the 7 or 8 feet of your aura that now your auras are expanding to 25, 50, and 100 feet beyond your bodies. And your bodies are not acclimated, and the poles are not wide enough to keep you balanced. So you're having to keep your feet a shoulder width apart so you don't tip over. And that's exactly what I was feeling. And I had to laugh because a couple days later, I figured out, hold on just a minute, a couple days later, that's my dog's medicine. A couple days later, I realized that they were showing me that we designed this to have trouble with our balance, to get dizzy, and to not be able to walk straight. Because if we stay and pay attention to our feet and whether or not we're going to fall over and where we're walking, then we are in the present moment. And that's where we need to be to step into our mastery. Is that not amazingly clever for us to do?
It's beautiful. Yes.
So I've stopped the dizziness pretty much. I'm still holding on to furniture. And I felt very, very weak around Christmas time. And I can feel that that's shifting. And I'm starting to feel like I'm starting to come back into my energy, my power. And that is the stepping into the mastery, which tonight is part of that. So if you've been walking like a penguin, that's why.
Oh my goodness, there's so much flowing through, and I can feel the energy, Judy. I've been getting that sleepiness, again, the transmission of what's coming through. Yes. It's quite potent. It's quite potent. Makes sense where we're not on video tonight.
I know. It's me. I don't know how to do a lot of that stuff. But anyway, the beautiful thing is, and that's what I'm realizing now, is we are taking back in, and we are, when you are in the love frequency, you're not connected to time. And we're collapsing time. And the last 2 years, we've been down to 6 hours a day out of 24 because we're in our heart so much more than we were before. So for those of you that wonder, am I doing it right? Am I fulfilling my goal? Am I here doing what I'm here to do? Absolutely. Not one of you has made a mistake. Not one mistake. And you've never been a victim. Everything has been agreed upon by everybody else on the other side before we came in, when we formed the family that we were going to have in this life. And all of the people, 50 members of our soul family out of 500 be here. Wow. And so now we're starting to coalesce as a master family. And that is so exciting. And so we're starting to have our master selves waking up in the most beautiful ways. And for you, John, a lot of it has been your shaman and your, what I call first people healing abilities. The first cultures on the planet that carried the most wisdom. You've been stepping into this now, very, very much so. Have you noticed that yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Very proficiently and profoundly, yes.
Yeah, the natural world speaking big time to you.
Yeah, and going to the elemental realms in different ways, in different dimensions. It's been absolutely mind-blowing.
There are over 352 dimensions, and we are all of them.
Wow.
Okay? So when somebody says to me, and I really, being effective, you're the most effective you can be at this point. Because you're here breathing. Through everything we've been through, we're still here breathing. How amazing is that?
How beautiful is that? Yes.
And just so you know, Peter Pan is the king of the elementals.
Hmm.
And I worked with Peter Pan and Tinkerbell with Walt Disney in 2005, creating a fairyland for adults for 3 weeks with my roommate. And
Wow.
Peter was flying in and out, and Tinkerbell we did most of the work with, and Walt, and what a gift that was. And I had to laugh because I did an Arturian workshop a couple of weeks ago, and the Arturians told me that Walt Disney is an Arturian elder, and he created the playground for the Arturians.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that marvelous?
Wow.
So when you want to go play, you can go to the Arturian playground and play.
Oh, funny. We get to create our playgrounds as well.
Yeah. Now, let me tap into what Merlin wants to say, okay?
Okay,
All right,
yes.
here we go. He's standing here and he's now doing a jig. He's dancing. So let me see. Hold on. You're going to notice that spirals are going to start showing up in everything for you. And you're going to start being aware of you as a spiral. The energy that you're emitting at this time looks like gold glitter. The new earth is mainly made of divine consciousness, which is the color gold. And you are each now stepping into your divine self, which is you stepping beyond your human self and stepping into the divine mind and the divine heart and the divine consciousness and the divine body. And as you choose this, you leave behind the personality and the memories of who you were for most of your life. And when you realize that that soul experience is complete, the moment that you finish something, the moment that you no longer are in the energy of that person, place, or thing, you got everything out of it you needed. So Merlin is saying, notice that the spirals are going to talk to you more. You may see more seashells than you normally would see. You may see the Fibonacci in showing you in birds' patterns on their feathers, or in animals' coats, or in leaves on a tree. He's saying, or the way apples might be configured on a tree. You're going to start seeing more and more spirals, which is the truth of life. And Merlin is saying that in Avalon, he said they had the unique ability that they could experience everything in a much bigger way. So when they were loving, they experienced a much larger experience of love. And when they were unloving, they experienced a much larger experience of unloving. And he's saying that Avalon was a portal. And he said it was a portal of truth. And so anybody that was in the Avalon energy, which he's saying includes all of you, or you wouldn't be interested in this topic, he said, is you speaking and clearing to your truth through this webinar, because Merlin is activating your ability to tune into your expression of who you are in the Avalon energy. And in this moment, he is going around each one of us in a spiral clockwise. And I'm seeing that he's this all gold sparkling light like fairy dust. And he's putting his hand on the crown of our head as he's going around us. And now he's reversing it, and he's putting his other hand, left hand, on the crown of our head as he's going the opposite direction. And I'm seeing that our bodies, our kundalinis, are expanding as liquid gold going up our spines. If you're getting hotter, that's why. I'm getting hotter, so I can feel it. And he's saying that he's opening up our base chakra, so that he's giving the message to our base chakra to expand into our fifth dimensional chakras, which there's 12 in the body. There's some above the head and below the feet. And when I saw mine in 2007, they were like salmon and teal and magenta, very different colors from the traditional 7. And he's saying that the vibrancy of life, which is what I see when I see what we call heaven, and heaven in the Rainbow Bridge, Earth is called Heavenly Earth, and it's right here, heaven in the Rainbow Bridge, 3 feet up off the ground to your left. Your loved ones have never left you. Their animals have never left you. They're in their light bodies, just like we will be as we align with our 5th dimensional self. We will be androgynous light beings. We're androgynous now. We've been our whole life, just most people don't know it. We biologically carry male and female, regardless of what our genitals are. And so we're merging the yin and the yang and coming back into oneness. And that's why, if you've noticed, the new children, and there's 77 different types of new children that have been coming on the planet since 1980. And those new children are here to lead us into the 7th golden crystalline age of wisdom and peace. They are not willing to live the way we were raised and programmed to live. They have no interest in living extreme. They have no interest in living and working hard. They think that's an abhorrent idea. They want to play when they want to play. They want to work when they want to work. They don't want bosses. They want to make their own decisions. And they want to have the freedom in life to do what feels good. They're not interested in laboring. They're not interested in being pressured. They don't have any interest in that. And so that's how we were raised. They don't want that. The children in their teens and early 20s are bringing in the androgynous energy right out in the open. So you're seeing kids in their teens and early 20s dressing androgynously. You're seeing them changing their names to androgynous names. You're seeing them openly dating men and women with no shame, because we are androgynous. We've been taught by religions to be extreme with this and that, but love is love. It doesn't really matter. And so the androgynous part of us is the centered, the balanced part of us. And that's what Buddha taught. Buddha taught the middle way, not this extreme or not that extreme. And that's what we're stepping back into. And Merlin is saying that as you're on this call, you've just shifted 10 degrees more to your center. Every single being on the call just shifted 10% closer to your center.
Amazing.
So he's saying you may start feeling less scared or less frightened, less out of sorts. And that's this 10-degree shift that he's just offered to each of you. He's also standing with Merlina in the center of a big circle we are all standing around. And he is igniting a flame. It's a golden, silver, violet flame in the middle of the circle of all of us. And he's saying that it's purifying us to the core of us, of where we came in through the violet flame into creation. And so I just burped, I'm clearing for everybody. And I'm seeing this amazing golden, silver, purple, violet color that is expanding, and we are all in flames. And we're now purifying every single one of us. So tune in and feel the flame energy coming from below the bottom of your feet. It's also going down to encompass all of our chakras that he just talked about, and going literally way beyond our head. And it's about 5 feet from our sides. It's expanded out, the flame. And now the total of us, and I'm asking that this happens in all of our bodies, all of our minds, and all of our hearts, in all aspects of our soul, in all lives we're living. May every part of us that's been fragmented come home as golden rays of light into our sacred heart as one. And may we go into the core of us, in through infinity, out through infinity, and of infinity, including every life we're living and every aspect of our soul. We are being purified and cleansed and cleared in the totality of us in this moment. Now, through love, ease, grace, and joy. And now, King Arthur is stepping forward. So here we go. I am taking my sword of truth, and I am asking for each of the 13 knights of the round table to unsheath their swords. And I'm asking for each of the swords to point into the middle. And they are all around us with their swords pointing into the middle. I see the ladies of the round table in the middle where the flaming is happening. And they're each playing a tone on their instrument in front of you. And the music is going in a spiral around you to awaken your heart song. And your heart song is the song of your soul. It is the tone of the self-love that you carry. And everybody has a different heart signature. Everybody has a different heart song. And so right now, the ladies of the round table are in front of each of us with different instruments. And they're going from our left ear to our right ear. And the music is transferring in our heads from ear to ear as we're in surround sound. And they're each playing the instruments that would awaken our heart song in a brand new way. So we step more and more into the truth of who we are. And we literally expand our heart song beyond where it was before. And so each of these ladies are around each of us. Some have violins, some have harps, some have guitars, some have pianos, some have piccolos, some have tubas, some have basses, some have accordions, some have singing bowls. There's all different kinds of instruments. Some have drums. It's quite interesting to see the array of instruments. There's many instruments I've never seen before, but they're telling me they're of the language of light. And so we're each being expanded in our own heart light so that we are in touch with our heart song. And when you pass to the other side, that's how you're known. You're not known by your body, and you're not known by your name. You're known by your heart song. And you carry a unique tone inside your own body that nobody else has. So I'm seeing the ladies are dancing all around each of us. I'm seeing the flaming expanding way beyond all of us. And I'm seeing the fairies are dancing with us. And I can see the leprechaun. And I can see Peter flying up and down and around. And I can see a golden, silver unicorn in the middle. And the unicorn is touching each of our sacred hearts, which is your creator heart. It's your immortal heart. It's the part of you that's home. It's where your flow is. Your divine flow is in your sacred heart. That is your creator heart. And I'm seeing the unicorn is going and touching each of our hearts in our heart center. And it's awakening. Oh, wow. It's awakening. Oh. It's awakening our celestial wisdom. And they're asking you each to put your right hand on your heart center and tap 3 times. That's you giving permission for the awakening of your sacred heart, and for you to step more into basking in the healing light of your own light. And that's what the unicorns have just activated. So there's this beautiful pink golden light of Christ consciousness, your own Christ consciousness, that the unicorns just opened. And I can see musical notes coming out of your connecting point to your sacred heart, which is at the base of your throat. And that's your connecting point to your sacred heart. Your sacred heart resides right in front of your spinal column. You have your human heart when you're in human form. You have your sacred heart, and then you have your chakra heart. But you're living lives as wind and a thought, which you're not in form. And yet your sacred heart is your creator heart. That is home. And that's what's being awakened by this beautiful golden silver unicorn. Okay, now Melina, the feminine part of Merlin, is standing here, and she's singing, and she's got this high-pitched, beautiful toned voice. And I'm seeing blessings of love are being showered on each of us as she's singing. And it looks like they look like butterflies in all the metallic colors. I'm seeing bronze and gold and silver. They're just glowing and sparkling as they're flying all around us, delivering blessings. And I'm seeing them going all around us as spirals, going counterclockwise as the music is coming to us clockwise. And we're being activated as instruments of love. And every single one of us just took our next step. It was offered to your heart by Merlin, and Melina is the one that's activating it. And I always request that everything is in alignment with your sacred heart and your I am presence, and it is presented to you only in the way that honors you individually. Now I'm seeing our crown chakras are opening really, really big, and we have this beautiful flame of light coming out of the crowns of our heads. And now it's going all the way down the meridians, going out our feet. And now it's coming out of our hands, and it's coming out of our pores. And we've just stepped into the golden light of Avalon, Christ consciousness. And every pore, every bodily process, every bodily system, every single organ, all the parts of us are coming into divine synergy and oneness and into the consciousness of one, because every part of us has its own consciousness. So now Melina is bringing in our Christ consciousness to unify all of the consciousness of us. And each one of us are being shown a different musical note that represents the tone that our heart light carries. And that symbol is going to be shown to each one of you in your dream state, so you're not going to miss it. You may also notice Merlina saying that you might be drawn to different kinds of music, or you might like different kinds of instruments than you have in the past, because you're lining your body as a musical instrument, as the heart light of creation. And so now I'm seeing Guinevere, and she's going around each one of us. She's putting and touching our right shoulder and our left shoulder to bring us totally into balance. And I'm seeing pearlized white light as we're remembering the pearls of wisdom from our Avalon lives as ascended masters, as part of the round table, as part of the knights and the ladies, and part of Merlin and Melina. I'm remembering, and we're being open to remember our parts in those experiences as we unfold our gifts. And each of us are now unfolding our own swords of truth. And they're just flames of white light. And as we each are presented, and it comes out of our heart, our own flame, our own sword of light, that's going ahead of us and clearing our path so that we are focused in one form of graciousness to live the graciousness of our golden divine self. And in the new earth, We live as our higher self. I started seeing golden animals in 2005 and didn't hear anybody talking about golden animals for 6 years. And I realized they were the I am presence of all the animals I was seeing. So we're now stepping into our higher self, our I am presence in a new way. We're each reclaiming our power. Our minds are being cleared of all of the old energy. And they're literally, all of the old energy is being transmuted into the heart of creation and cleansed and cleared into its next expression of love. And we are now divine instruments of love. And now I see Joan of Arc standing here with her sword of truth, putting it in the center of the circle. And she's calling forth our integrity. And she's calling forth our sense of dignity and our sense of recognizing who we are and living the greatest potential for us for this lifetime with our noble heart. Every single one of you is a noble heart, or you wouldn't be here to lead the way. And I, as Joan of Arc, am opening your noble heart so you recognize the purest parts of you. It is my gift. It is my joy, and it is my pleasure to be here as Judy was an archangel that tried to save me. And we go way back. And I couldn't miss this opportunity. It is divinely orchestrated that you are each here, and I get an opportunity to awaken your sacred heart and to awaken your noble heart. And you will not be able to, from this point on, to do certain things that you've been doing, that the unloving part of you has been attached to. Those bonds are being shattered. Where you've been stuck is being shattered. Where you have lived a certain pathway that is no longer honoring you is being totally shattered and cleared. And in this moment, there is a golden tube of white light that is awakening from the bottom of your feet beyond, all the way up through the middle of your body, as you are standing in your true nobility as one of the knights and the ladies of the round table. And in this moment, you are home. You are home. You are home. And now we bring in the crystal, the guardian of Avalon. And we put this big crystal, and I see the crystal is just full of light. And I can't even see the crystal. I just see crystalline light frequencies. And it's spinning very, very fast. And it's going almost in every degree possible, like if somebody was tumbling. It's tumbling. And it's awakening every part of what it carries as the guardian of Avalon. And right now I have it in my bra next to my heart. And I've been wearing this since early afternoon, so that I asked it to present to us tonight what was most in alignment with our sacred heart. And here we go. So in this moment, as this beautiful crystal is now entering each of your sacred hearts, and as it enters your sacred heart, it is illuminating every chamber of your heart. And I'm seeing anything that is old energy, anything that's unloving, anything that has already served you is literally floating and leaving your body and going into the heart of creation. And I'm seeing you look completely clear like a crystal. I'm not seeing bones. I'm not seeing muscles. I'm not seeing the bodily things. And I went through this myself a couple years ago, and I've never seen anybody else the way I'm seeing us all now. We are crystals. We're returning to the crystalline forms we were in Atlantis and Lemuria. And so now I'm asking that if any part of our blueprints need to be upgraded to honor the integrity of our soul and honor our I am presence and allow us to live a much more expanded potential for this lifetime, I ask that that be offered to each of you. And if that is something that you would like to do, and you would like to be of further service to Merlin and Merlina, and to Arthur and the Round Table of the 13 Knights, and the ladies of the Round Table, including Guinevere, then put your hand on your heart, doesn't matter which hand it is, and let them know that you are willing to share from your heart of truth in whatever way honors you and honors all of life. And so it is. Beloved, we are. Oh my God. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Had no
Yeah.
idea.
How are you all feeling? Yeah.
All in one big swoop. But we did, didn't we? Wow. Whew.
Amazing.
Oh. Wow. Just takes me a minute to kind of come back into the room. So each of you just kind of put your hands on your heart, bring yourself back into your bodies. See yourself, your light going through the bottoms of your feet and the meridians going all the way to the heart of the earth. See your heart merge with the heart of the earth. And see beautiful little pink and golden hearts coming from the heart of the earth, going up through your body and exploding into delight. You look like a little bunch of gold and pink fireworks as every part of your body is being lit up. And I'm hearing complete. So we've each been grounded. Okay, can we take calls?
Let's take, well, before we go into calls, everybody, the special offer is a session with Judy. And I cannot tell you the transmissions that I've had with Judy in my sessions, and this is epic. And to get into your personal energy and what's coming through, it's just, you're in a whole nother world. April has typed in the link in the chat box. You can click on the special offer there, take advantage of this to work with Judy.
Thank you, April.
Yeah, and so Judy, what comes through for anybody new, and so many of y'all are already familiar with Judy and this energy, and this beautiful transmission. What comes through in sessions lately? Because it's been a while since you and I have been together in session.
I know. And I just thought of you a couple times in the last couple months, and I just sent you a big hug. The beautiful thing is, what's coming through is what I was talking about when I first was sharing what I've been experiencing. What I'm getting, which is just over the top, is these messages are coming from the pure core of creation. And, you know, all of your guides and angels are you. Every life you're living now. There's no past. You haven't even created a future. You haven't even created tomorrow yet. We have this moment now. And it's coming in much more expanded ways, where who they are on a core level is what's coming in. And I've had more cartoon characters come in this year. And I will give you an example, which was precious. I was doing a session with a lady just last week, and Porky Pig, which I've never had come in, came in and was showing me that he had pink rose polish on his nails, his toenails. And he said, I just had a pedicure yesterday. And I'm thinking, what does this have to do with her, right? So anyway, I tell her, Porky Pig is standing here, and he's showing me, and he's telling me that yesterday he had a pedicure done with rose pink polish. And I hear her gasp. And she said, I had a pedicure yesterday with rose pink polish. Amazing. And so Porky Pig said, I am here, and I have been one of her guides, And I'm here to present to her how to look at life from a much more lighthearted perspective. And pigs are very, very in touch with living in a lighthearted way. And the message he gave her was so beautiful. I'm crying, she's crying, and it was a cartoon character. Isn't that interesting? I had a lady that a blue pencil came in, and the blue pencil said, I used to be a magnificent, amazing tree, fully lush, and lived a full life as a tree. I'm having to let my dog out to go to the bathroom. And as he said, the tree said, and then I served my purpose. I was as expanded as you can be. And now I needed to allow myself to take my next step in life, which was I started disintegrating and I started dying and I was cut into logs. And part of me was used to make pencils. And it said, I'm a blue pencil. And it said, I'm having the time of my life because I am being the blue pencil to a 3-year-old little girl that is so pure-hearted, and I'm helping her learn to communicate with life. And as she gets older, she will be a very famous poet and writer. And I whisper in her ears daily different musings and different encouragements to help her remember who she is, so she will be the beautiful author that she's here to do. And I get to teach her how to communicate with life. And the pencil said, as long as I have lead in me, then I am serving the last vestige of me as a tree. Where do you get this stuff? You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely amazing. And the one thing about me, the kind of work I do, is because I've been working with the Ascended Masters, Angels, and Archangels for over 71 years. And I've never received an unloved, unkind, harsh, judgmental message. And the Masters have never once come to me from a place of superiority. There is no hierarchy in life. That's all created by churches, and it's not the truth. So the way I work is I don't make money or time more important than the person. And I allow 3 hours for each session, because I never know how much time that person's going to need. And because they're coming to me and I'm the emergency doctor to help clear them where they're stuck, that can take the whole 3 hours. It can take 2 hours, whatever it is. We agreed before either of us were born that we would come together as Ascended Masters and we would share with each other. And as we share, we're being guided by divine appointment to connect, to have our session, and to do whatever it is we agreed to do. So when people make the time, when they're having the session, the most important thing, that's their head and their ego talking. Their higher self guided them to the time when right now my clients are scheduling into the first week of August. So if you're on this call and you're considering scheduling a session, your higher self knew that you would be mature enough for whatever the information is I'm to give you in August. Not now, not next week, in August. And the higher selves work with you so that whatever they're going to present to you, you need to be at a place that you can receive it. And I've had even a woman who lives in the Netherlands that called me to book a session, and this was in September. And I kept checking in each month, and she said, just do it when my higher self is guiding you. And I said, I will do that. And each month I checked in, and it wasn't until the middle of June that her higher self came to me and said, okay, now she's ready. And I said, okay. So I let her know. We did the session, and halfway through, they gave me why she wasn't prepared the week before, and she started crying, and I started crying. She wasn't ready until the middle of June. So my point is, it's not just booking a session. It's honoring the integrity of your soul and the fact that you've been guided, and you need to listen to your guidance. And if you've been guided, and I've had people say to me things like, you know, Judy, I just heard your voice and I knew, or I saw your name and I knew, or I heard somebody talk about you and I knew. And when you have those kind of experiences, you begin to understand that it is all by divine appointment, and we need to keep our head out of it. And we need to stay in our heart. And that's really the most important thing. So scheduling a session with me means we're honoring an agreement we made before birth. And I will be guided to know exactly what you need, when you need it, and how I'm to present it to you. And I connect to your higher self. And your higher self guides me exactly what to do. So when we're doing the sessions, we're doing them for less than half the price that a session with me costs. Because I charge $260 an hour, and my average session is an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. And we're offering it for $177.
Yeah,
and
which
that is
amazing.
allowing up to 3 hours. So that's, you know, when you look at it from a standpoint of economics, you can't lose. And when you look at it from a standpoint of your soul, whatever it is that your soul wants you to know is what I will give you.
It's
So
amazing
that's
what shows up. It's amazing what shows up. I'm booked for August 10th, I believe, which is a special date for me. So I can't wait for that divine appointment and what's coming through. So that's going to be amazing. And again, if any of y'all are new to Judy, I cannot recommend it enough. One of my sessions in Judy, we brought in this energy of Max the Crystal Skull, and that changed my life. And the synchronicity that showed up around that, along this huge initiation that I went into in Peru. And the part that Max played, and he kept showing up in different places. And he even showed up in a cloud in one of my pictures. And much of it was epic. It's just, you can't make it up. But I was ready to receive something, and it came through so strong. He kept reminding me, and it reminded me of its presence. And it's amazing. It's amazing. A session is just a whole nother level.
For those of you that do not know who Max the Skull is, Max is responsible for the shift of the ages. That's the being that's in charge of and orchestrating the planet shifting from third to fifth dimension, is a crystal skull Max. And I carry him in my heart, and I carry the Indara crystal in my heart. And if I'm so guided, when I do sessions, I download whatever it is I'm being asked to download. And it can be, I have no clue until actually they present it to me. And then I know exactly how to give it to you. It's the most amazing thing, how everything coordinates and collaborates to make sure that we get it exactly the way it's meant for you. And I absolutely love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. So I show up, I'm 100% present, and I've had many, many clients say to me, you know, when you're listening to me, I'm realizing for the first time in my life that I've never been really listened to before, because I'm totally quiet. And they'll say, are you still there? And I'll say, yes, I'm listening. So it's important to understand that we are all ascended masters. We're all coming here to mentor each other and assist each other. And there is no hierarchy. And Jesus came to me in 2007. And he said, Judy, I love the way you describe me to people, because it takes me off the pedestal. I stand next to them, and they just realize that I'm just their brother. How beautiful is that?
That's beautiful. Oh, I so feel that so pumped.
Yeah. So they
amazing.
don't look at themselves as superior on any level. We are all ascended masters. We went through the veil of forgetting. We're now starting to remember, and the old us is dying. So we're all going through a huge transformation. And what we're going through, John, has never been done before. We are the first ones to ascend inside of a human body. We are the first ones to ascend in planet Earth from third to fifth dimension. Every other planet in this universe is fifth dimension or more. We were the only one planet that was still in third and fourth dimension. And this universe chooses to be a loved-based universe. So that's why we're here. We were handpicked
to come here and to lead the way. And we're doing a phenomenal job because we're 10 years ahead of what anybody thought was possible. And we're still here doing it.
I get the chills when you say that. Up and down my spine, those confirmations, so powerful.
Yes. And I suggest everybody start hugging themselves, because we came here to love ourselves more than we've ever loved ourselves in any life. And it's important to hug yourself, because we've been taught to hug everybody else, but we have not been taught to hug ourselves. And we need the most nurturing. We need the most love from ourselves. So hug you, from you, to you, 8 to 9 times a day, genuinely, and a full heart. And you will be amazed at how much you will mellow out, because you have your own arms. You can hug yourself anywhere, anytime. And then breathe very slowly so that you shift from being in your head to being in your heart. And only in your heart will you feel the truth. And you've programmed into your sacred heart before you were born every person, place, thing, and experience you would need for this lifetime. You also programmed all the issues you were going to have, and you also programmed all the solutions. And you decided how you were going to wake up and remember who you are. You took care of all that before you came in. And everything in your life has been designed, every experience, to help you to become who you are today. You've made no mistakes, and you've never been a victim. So I hope that helps you to feel the truth for you, because it's what a session is about, is helping you to see the truth of who you really are and what you're ready for.
Oh, you'll take a deep breath and relax into it. There's so much receiving and releasing and acknowledging and remembering that's happening right now.
Yep.
So much. So much. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. I'm scheduled for August 10th. I can't wait.
Thanks, John. I look forward to us sharing this. Yeah. Oh, and Max is saying, he's rubbing his hands together and he's saying, boy, have I got some things to share with you.
Well, if it's anything like the last time, I am holding onto my hat. Oh, so amazing. Let's absolutely take some calls. So let's start. Y'all, before I take the first caller, again, the link for the session is in the chat box. You can find it there. Just click on the bottom of the screen or go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Judy24. Take it to the same page. And we're going to run this replay. So you'll get back into the energy transmissions, come back and just bathe in this gold. So amazing. Let's go to our first caller here. Let's, Milena, let's go to you first. Welcome.
Hi, Milena.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Very well, yes.
First of all, these are flowers, orchids for you, Judy, for this beautiful transmission. And for you, John, thank you for being our wonderful host. I'm so shaken by the transmission. My Kundalini current just got crazy, and it feels like I'm in a miracle zone. And this is, it's probably a pencil that will help me write my book, which is going to be titled The Book of Amber. And as I feel that I'm in the miracle zone, I'm going to express my wish. I would love to have a session with Judy on the 31st of August, which is my birthday. And I have no resources for that right now. I've been in poverty for a few years, but I'm invoking the powers of the universe to help me, because I know in my heart of hearts that Judy will help me get myself free once and for all.
Milena, let's let Judy transmit something for you. Let's use this time wisely and really serve you.
Okay, thank you. I got carried away. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Milena, orchids are beautiful. They're one of my favorite flowers. And thank you for the gift of the orchids. I'm going to suggest to you that if you send me an email, which is judycali333@yahoo.com, I will forward you my golden prosperity prayer and my golden rainbow prayer. And that will connect you to Abundantia, the angel of abundance, Green Tara, and Lakshmi, the goddesses of prosperity and wealth. And the beautiful thing is, prosperity is having balanced happiness in every area of our life. It is being in abundance of complete love for ourselves. See, I'm clearing for you. You haven't been able to speak your truth and you've had to swallow your pain.
That's
So,
true.
Anyway. Okay, this goes into your teenage years. I'm clearing for you. So my point is, I'm like a little one-woman band when I do a session. And yelping and falling asleep and tipping more and going here and going there. And my body just shows me where you're stuck. So anyway, if you send me an email, I will forward you my golden prosperity prayer. And that will help you to... Well, we're really, really clearing. That will help you to start working with Abundantia, Green Tara, and Lakshmi. So let me tune in and see. You have a guy named Hukilau, Hukilau. This is a Hawaiian goddess. And she's saying that one of the most powerful lives you're currently living is as a Hawaiian goddess. And she has been with you since you were 2 years old. And she's saying that the power of the flowers are starting to shift your energy the same way that essential oils will shift your energy. And she's saying that you're going to start noticing that you're going to be smelling deeper and you're going to start smelling more fragrances than you have before. Just as we're being guided to see colors, like a palette, if we had 100 colors, let's say, in third dimension, and we have 5,000 in fifth, we're going to start seeing many, many more hues and vibrancies of colors as we align with our fifth dimensional self. So for you, Hukilau is saying that she is asking you to put on music and move your hips every day because you've been stuck. And she's saying if you move your hips, that in the infinity symbol, that will start unsticking you and you will start being in your flow more easily. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for the orchid. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much.
And what I think I will do is I will forward my prosperity prayer to John and April, and they can send it out to the people. That way everybody can get it. Okay? Are we still there?
Yes, we're still here. And let's go to another caller now. Christina G, let's go to you.
Hi, Christina.
You're welcome. Wait for Christina to find. Yep, you need to unmute.
There we go. How's that?
Much better. Welcome. What's your question for Judy?
Okay. Judy, you know me. We've worked together before, and I just want to say, everybody, the sessions with Judy are phenomenal. I would encourage you, if you have the ability to do it, to really do it.
Well, thank you.
I'm very tied to this whole era, and I did a spiritual study trip that was the Grail Trail in France in 1998 with my spiritual teacher. There's a lot of phenomenal experiences there that really substantiate multiple levels of knowledge. And as you were doing the transmission, my body in different places was going into phenomenal pain. Ears, heart, shoulders. And prior to the call, which was really surprising to me, is that I had I started to get very aggravated, agitated. So I'm also concerned that I may have blocked part of the transmission, and I'm not quite sure what happened here. And then I started to relax at the end, but it's still the ears, it's still like shoulders where, you know, I've had surgery. There's just,
You're
it's like
releasing
an
shame,
antsiness. It's
Christina.
almost like a yucky
Christina.
energy
Hey, Christina,
around
let's
me,
let
or I don't know what it is, but help, because
Christina,
I would
let's let
really
Judy
love
answer.
to fully receive this transmission, and I'm just doing so much better since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, Christina, let's let Judy answer. Yeah.
You are releasing shame at the deepest level. It's shame that you're releasing. That's why it's hurting. And all you need to do is tell your higher self you choose ease and grace. But you're releasing shame, and you carry a lot of shame. And it's not your shame. It's things you've been told that you need to be ashamed of that you don't. It's false shame. And that's why it's clearing on the deepest level. So that's what you got from the transmission, was the healing for you is clearing you of all of the shame, because you can't align with your fifth dimensional self when you're in shame. You must be balanced. You're male and female. So thank you, Christina, for calling in. Thank you for saying the beautiful things that you did. And I'm suggesting you go to bed, you drink a lot of water, and you allow yourself to just be in that beautiful violet flame and say to your higher self, I choose ease and grace, and just let all the shame clear, because that's what you're releasing. Okay?
God bless you, Judy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's go to another caller now. And before we go to the caller, the special offer, y'all, if you're looking for it, it's in the chat box. Just click on the link. It'll take you under. You can go ahead and schedule your session. And the replay will run later. We'll render the video, and it'll go a little bit later tonight. So watch the email for that. Judy, let's take Sherry Waldridge now. Waldbridge, excuse me. Hey, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi. Wow. I'm pretty emotional. That was pretty powerful, and I'm very, very grateful, Judy and John. I had lots of questions, but I'm just gonna, if it's all right, just allow you to share what comes up.
You have a fairy named Penelope, and it's a part of you living a life as a fairy. And Penelope is saying she's all in purple, and she's got a bright fuchsia hat on with feathers. And she's saying that one of the things that you are being guided to do is to come out of your shell and to be more visually bold. And she's saying wear bolder colors. You might find art with bolder colors are now speaking to you. You're needing to bring more color into your life, because color heals. And one of the gifts I carry is, and the dolphin showed me this in Sedona in the early 1980s, is I carry a rainbow of all healing colors in my heart from both sides of the veil. So with you prompting this call, I'm going to offer to the I am presence of everybody on the call, on the replay, and anybody hearing about this, the golden rainbow of all the healing colors from both sides of the veil, from my sacred heart to each of your sacred hearts, so that the colors can do what they need to do. But you're being asked, and this is by Saint Germain, for you to step into more boldness, speak your truth, don't hide, and let the world see the magnificent beauty of who you really are, because you've kind of stayed in the background. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. So true.
Okay. So
Thank you,
Saint
Judy.
Germain saying, wear bold red underwear, wear bold red nail polish, wear hot pink t-shirt. Just make it really colorful. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so
Have a beautiful day. You
Thank
color
you.
yourself.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thank
Sherry.
you. So much love to
Blessings.
all of you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Send it
All
back.
right, let's go to another caller. Let's go to Gina. Gina, hello.
Hi,
Hi, Gina.
I'm so happy to talk to you. So I need help with my voice. I'm a singer, and for the past few years, my voice fades away. So I need to, I don't know what to do about that.
Okay, first of all, why your voice is fading away is for two reasons. First of all, you're being guided in a new direction. And second of all, you are not singing based on your heart. You're singing the way you've always sang. And it's a cardinal that's talking to me. And the bird is saying that you're being guided to sing from your heart because there's certain tones that can come out through your throat only through your heart. And you're being guided to touch people's hearts the way I do. When I'm talking, they're being cleared and healed. You have that capacity, but you haven't stepped into that before. You're now being given the opportunity by the cardinals, because you're living a life as a cardinal. It's a bright yellow bird that's showing itself to me. And it's saying that the song language of the birds is what's been fine-tuning in your throat. So you will sing differently on a higher octave, and it will go directly into the hearts of those that hear you.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you.
So honor the yellow gold cardinal, and its name is George.
George, okay.
George the cardinal. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, Gina, thank you. And I have to tell you all, some of the messages may seem a little strange to you, but feel into it. And it's where it evolves, and the energy and the synchronicities and the characters that show up to support what's being received. It's receiving, and also for me being shown in how many different ways we're supported and loved, Judy.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
It's absolutely amazing. Okay, let's get to another caller then. We're going long tonight, but how fun. Lisa, let's go to you. Welcome.
Oh,
Hi, Lisa.
hi, I'm so honored you picked me. Thank you, John. Thank you, Judy. That was such a beautiful transmission.
Oh, thank you for contributing your heart, which helped make it possible. Every heart on this call was needed. So go ahead.
I can still feel it. And I'm just wondering, I don't have anything to ask. I just wanted to know what will come through for me.
Well, your Pleiadian family has been making themselves more known to you through the color cobalt blue. Have you been noticing that?
Well, I'm so drawn to blue. I have a lot of blue.
Yeah, because you are part of the blue people, and I'm also a blue being. John is also a blue being. If you look up Mintaka, Mintaka, a planet in the Orion belt is where we are living as blue people. And some of the highest frequency beings on the planet are blue beings. The medicine Buddha is blue. Krishna's blue. When I was 9 years old, I was guided to see Jesus as a blue being. I didn't know what it meant. In later years, I had an android come to me as a bird. She was a bird woman, all in cobalt blue, and gave me a message. When the Pleiadians connected to me in the state of Maine in the early 2000s, they beamed a cobalt blue light through the ceiling right in front of my feet to get my attention. Mm-hmm. Archangel Michael's sword is cobalt blue. It's a sword of truth. So the color cobalt blue is showing me big time. You're starting to step into what we would call the wisdom of the blue people. And you're starting to wake up as being a blue being. And I see this beautiful council of blue beings and blue masters. And if you look up Mintaka, Mintaka, you will find some information about the blue people. It's only been on the computer maybe the last 5 years. So
Oh.
it's something that's what you're stepping into is your blue wisdom.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
Look into it. Thank you for calling in. So wonderful. This is amazing. Judy, we're running along, and I know you can go forever, but I want to honor your energy as well. Is there,
Okay.
is there, what can, how do I ask for this? Just what wants to be shared as we close this container tonight, this beautiful energy that's running through?
I'm being guided to mention the 13 knights' names and ask them to assist us from today on. So
Beautiful.
I want to call in the I Am presence of King Arthur, Sir Lancelot, Sir Galahad, Sir Gawain, Sir Percival, Sir Lionel, Sir Theseus, Sir Gareth, Sir Bedivere, Sir Lucan, Sir Tristan, Sir Balin, and Sir Yolan. And I ask that the ladies of the round table that are each of their female counterparts come in as well. And they're saying that they're going to each take their turns working with each of us for the next 3 to 4 weeks, depending on how open we are, as to bringing in more and more of the downloads of our Avalon energy. And they're saying that the dragons are helping. And I can see a beautiful dragon. And I was on a phone call today with somebody that we were talking about the dragon energy. And I'm very connected to Sephora the last 2 years. And she told me as a white dragon that they are the keepers of the Sacred Heart. And they're the guardians of the Sacred Heart. How powerful is that? So I'm going to ask for each of us to awaken our personal dragon that can assist us with awakening our Avalon energy or anything else that would honor us. And I ask that our dragons make themselves known to us, each in the way that would most honor us, and assist us in ease and grace to step into our dragon energy and step into the pure truth of whatever it is that would honor us at this time. And so it is.
Beautiful. Judy, thank you so much. Such a beautiful transmission. Y'all, we're going to run the replay. It'll go out a little bit later. The replays can always be found at beyondtheordinaryshow.com/replay. And of course, to schedule your session with Judy, the special offer, it's in the chat box, or go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Judy24. And it's with that, y'all, that I send y'all all my love. So many blessings. Thank you for your contribution, not only on this call, but your love and your light and how it's lighting the way for so many of us as we continue to remember and awaken and saying yes to expanding.
Namaste.
Namaste, everybody. Have a fantastic evening.